Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Jake's Chop Shop. It is time and I'm excited, I'm sure you will be too. Let's get into the big shitter LSVL. So, first things first, the car's already half pulled apart. It's been used as a parts car for so many other builds throughout the year, but still runs and drives. It's pretty cool, I love it. It's definitely copped a beating over the time I've had it. First things first, let's pull it apart. So, drain all the fluids, drop the engine, all the car's got to be apart. Obviously a colour change, so bay, boot, fix up all the Lara Bingles. Come check this one out. The guards are all smashed in, bottom's bent down here, bollards on skid row, quarters moved in. So all this stuff we've got to address and get it done. So I think the date's like the 20th of July at the moment, and the car's got to be in Canberra, 1st of September. So we've got about 6 weeks to get it done. Trims by Beck's doing the trim, so I want to have it painted, put back together. Obviously without the trim, we'll send it over there and she's going to do her magic on that. So we've got a big task ahead of us, guys, so let's get into it. Spicy.
Cool lady.
Give us a walk around, Sam, of Rare Spares. Come around.
I'll do a somersault for you.
Yeah, go on. So we're just here ordering over the phone. Big Samuel's on the phone. Luke's working.
I like the seats.
What's Samuel's pick of the week at Rare Spares? He's in.
Definitely the shoe, not shoes.
The shoe, not shoes.
Are you ready? I'm gonna hurt myself.
All right, we'll stop it right there, guys, before Sam tries to get on a lawsuit at Rare Spares. But he's been kind enough to go down and pick up some stuff for me while me and Luke are working on the car. Oh, thanks, Sam.
Fucking 9 invoices later, idiot.
Just put them on the floor here.
Fucking let him go.
Snicker. Cool, buddy. Yeah. Alright guys, so we're pulling the engine out now. Thanks to the boys for helping. Gary, thank you. See, I reckon if this ever went, dead set, we just rebuild this one because it's copped a flogging. I reckon. Andy, bro. Oh, yeah.
Oh, a bit of fluid. Go forward.
Disassembly on the field. At least she's built. We'll go back together nice. We'll keep all the parts pieces in order. Right, yeah, let's show the camera look, yeah? This is all the relay panel, fuse panels. There's another fuse panel here for the heavy feeds. Circuit breaker under here. Fuel control relay, that's for the power steering, electric power steering. Full on. All right, we'll put it there and then I'll come grab the rest. So, what is, that's that bit. This bit here, I'll untangle it all. So this is the loom that goes out to the front right hand side. Grommet through into the chassis rail. All right, that's that one. That's heater controls, that's stereo, that's boot switch and glove box light, cigarette lighter. These are the timing computer for the LS engine. This here, this stuff here, looks neater once it's laid out in the car, obviously. They're the coil wiring. That there's for the cam and crank sensor. These ones, that's the oil pressure sensor, earth for the coils. That's the alternator loom, that's the water pump loom. That's wiper wiring. Now here we've got ignition switch, indicator, headlamp switch. That's all the dash loom. That's a basic body control wiper module. That's the dash plug, line locker, spare. Fuel pump wire, rear loom, interior light door switch, and that's the other front right hand rail with all the stuff in it. And there you have it.
There you go.
Alright, so first thing, I've got this big Lara Bingle here, obviously Skid Row from Summernats. So everything's stripped off the car. The whole rear section's actually moved in, so this section's a bit closer to the boot lid. We're going to start by doing a few things. I like these things, slide hammer, you get these from the body shop or wherever the fuck. These like untwist, you get all different attachments. So I'm going to start by hooking it in here, smacking it out, and then I've got another little attachment I just sort of grind up. It's just one of the screw ends I've welded onto a piece of steel, and you always find me like welding it into certain sections. Like I'll grind a bit off, put a bit of a weld, pull everything out, So we'll do that, and it's caused a lot of ripples and stuff down here because obviously that's pushed in and it's fucked this up. So we'll just have a crack now, pull this out. Obviously it's kinked here, the tail light's moved in, so we'll pull from here and hopefully it brings it out. One thing you got to keep in mind, anytime you're doing any pulling on a car, you want to start the initial pull from wherever the impact is. Right, that's the key. So I can see my impact is, there's a line here, and that's where I feel the impact's initiated from. It hasn't initiated from here, it's initiated from here. So I'm gonna start pulling from in that gap there, pull that first, and then I'll work from the side of the impact back to the center, and just slowly pull it out, change positions, and you just wanna think about it. You wanna basically reverse whatever's happened. You want to think about the order it's happened in, reverse that, and pull from there. Let's get it. I just want to know who the right operator is. Ashley, who's the right operator?
Who's the right operator?
So I've got my Megatron 5000 here now. We're going to put a few little zaps on this fucker. So we'll just find, like I did before, find the main bit of the dent. Boom. Stud. Put the Megatron 5000 on the dog. There's a fucking whoopty there. I feel something's cooking, cunt. No, it ain't that. Probably the wiring.
Safety first.
Safety first. I think some. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it goes.
Megatron 5000 is a bit tickety. Be careful with your Megatrons.
Look at the three.
Put a few of these in it. Get your shit right where you want it. Why is this not? I feel like a bit of a low there. That goes in there, you tighten it up. Pull. And these. That's it. She's done. That'll be enough. Oh, that was a bit.
Yeah, the handle's fucking really well. Yeah, dude.
All right, guys, so as you've seen, I was pulling out those dents there with the little rivet gun and the dent puller. Got everything about where I want it. It's not perfect. I could keep going and try and pull little bits and pieces and get everything killer and then go through with the metal finishing stage and do all that, but I'm really not interested. I really couldn't care. what I've done to my car is close enough, and I'm happy with this car. This car's not going to be for sale, so give a fuck. That's all within reason. I've just fitted up the tail lights, check the gap. Now before, this gap down here had closed up to pretty much nothing at the bottom, so that's obviously come out again. I just checked the tail light, sitting about where I want it through here. Just got to I might pull a little bit more in this area out here, just to sharpen that edge up. Probably just put a little spot weld there, pull it out, and then maybe here and here. But apart from that, I'm happy with that. You can see the garnish sits nicely. Because before, it was dipped in, because obviously the tail light had pushed around. So that's all good, happy with that. Happy with the wheel arch. So that's beautiful. So yeah, I'll probably clean that up now, leave that, move on to the next section. So as I said, I'm just going to continuously try and get the body as solid as I can. So just keep pushing forward with the bonnet. The next thing I might play with is, I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a massive dent in the floor here, where it's banging tyres, and there's a little bit of a section started to rise up here. So smash this back down here, get that right. As you can see, that's sitting real nice now. You know what I mean? Beautiful. So yep, we'll keep working on that. Then the next thing I'll probably tackle is I've got to finish off the windowsill. So I started putting in that part of the rear spares panel I cut in the top. So I'll finish that, do down the sides, corners, boom, 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 boom. Keep moving with that one. So, yeah, beautiful. The next thing to do, obviously, is to go around these edges. I'm going to start by grinding them all up, hitting them with the grinder, seeing what I can clean up, what can't be cleaned up. And then the top edge there, I'll mark what I'm going to cut out, see what's going to work with that rear spares panel, put that in place, have a little bit of a look. We'll go from there, start cutting, putting that in. Let's do it. So guys, as you've seen, cut out the rear spares panel, got that lip off, flipped it upside down, and they're actually like the perfect concave to sit on the roof, and it's like the perfect radius as well. So quick tip, probably shouldn't even be telling you that, but that's just a pro tip. But now I've just marked it out. I'm gonna cut it out now and put it in place, weld this up. But obviously with a roof, when you're doing something like this, be super mindful of warping the roof, all right? So even if it takes you like 3 hours to weld it, take the 3 hours, because otherwise car's fucked. So yeah, put it in place, lots of little tacks, an astronomical use of the air blower, and you'll be sweet. Let's get into it. All right, so I'm just tacking this piece in now on the top. I've cut it out roughly, and what I'm doing, I've got the bottom where I want it, and then the top, it's overlapping onto the roof. What I'll do is I'll run the grinder along here with a 1-inch disc, get it to fit right. Instead of trying to get the shape right off the car, just have a bit of green on it, and then trim it to the exact size you need. Now, so I've cut all the sections out that I needed to replace. Boom, 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 boom. Cut them all out, took the flange off, all that sort of stuff. Then what I did is I sprayed a heap of dioxidine inside the areas, blew that out. So we're trying to treat the rust the best we can, because obviously we can't get right in there without unpicking the whole roof. And then what I've done is laid some copper primer and then some cavity wax over the top. I'll show you the cavity wax real quick. So that's going to just rust proof it a little bit in those crevices that we can't get to. So now I've copper primed the back of the panels. I'll give you an idea. So I'll start tacking these all in, piecing them together. So that one's going to sit roughly there. And I've got another piece that's going to come and sit in here. Just like so. Obviously with a little bit of manipulation as it gets tacked, move a few things over, boom, 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 boom. And then finally I'll spot weld another flange to the face at the end once this corner section's where we want to go. Do that all the way around. But yeah, a lot of welding now, so I'll spend probably the rest of the day just sorting out this front window sill. Like I mentioned before with the roof, take a lot of time with the roof, with the air blower, slowly, because we don't want to warp the fuck out of the roof. Boom, let's get into it. Alright, so we're up to the boot seals here. What I've started with is wire wheeling all in the channel, getting all the bog and bullshit out. That's always your first step. You need to figure out what you're dealing with. Now we've cleaned it up, I've realised that I need to replace the channel all the way through here. So the bottom bit in here is pretty fucked all the way down, and this lip on the side is gone. So what I did with these side panels is I actually welded them to the bottom of that channel in there. and just left it because I knew this was all going to happen eventually. I'm going to talk about a little wild card that I've pulled. So there's a nice little bit of channel here. It's a bit rusty on the inside, but we'll clean that up. We'll sit this in here. And I've got another few little bits and pieces of metal I've folded up. They're all going to sit around the place. This piece here sits in there. Another bit just curved for that. We'll put another piece seated flat in there first. You might be wondering how I got this this curve here. What I use is a shrinker stretcher. Now you can pick these up from Paramount Browns or online. They're about 200 bucks. It's worth your time. I'll show you what it does. Say you get a piece of steel. Put the steel in here. I'm going to try and do this with one hand. Put it in there. Push down. Right. And it shrinks it, so you get a bit of a curve. That channel, I've actually just cut out of an old XY Falcon guard here. So there was a nice bit of channel that ran along here. Boom, stole that. There's heaps of other little bits of channel that I can use. So always keep all the cuts from cars. Utilise what you can, saves you going to rare spares and getting raped. But yeah, we'll probably end up putting a bit of HQ, a bit of Valiant, a bit of XY. We'll get the car done. Let's get into it. Quick. We're still working on the VL, but let's quickly check out Benny's VN. Gary on the late night tunes.
Oil change, oil filter, and set the tappets.
Now I'm up to the parcel shelf. So I'm basically just going through the car as I please, doing all the rust repair. So first rust, then we'll get major dents, do the body work, and then get it in primer. So the next thing I'm going to tackle is the parcel shelf tonight. So my speaker holes have been attacked, would be one word. So that's cool. We've got to do something with those. I think I'm going to leave the factory speaker hole and then just fill in this whole other abortion that's going on. I've also got to patch all these holes here. I don't know why my parcel shelf has got 50 billion holes in it, but it does. We just put some silicone over there for gnats, but I've got this cut here. All right, now what I'm going to do is I've got to put the headrest mounts in my car. So I'll cut these off, boom, 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 boom. Pick a point, probably either this or this hole here, and measure off. Use that as a center, measure off and figure out where the brackets sit, weld them onto my panel. And then I'm also going to use like this area here. So whatever we can out of this, put that into here, and then obviously I'll have to make up the rest of it. But we'll do that and we'll just use what we can. I think that one will almost be, yeah, probably get away with it. We'll get close. Anyway, I want to fix all this parcel shelf up. I've got to trim these little edges here that I left. Yeah, we'll keep moving with this. So, boom. All right, so just got the little brackets here, marked out where they got to go. Let's get these bad boys on. What do you reckon, Aiden? Does that look about right there?
Yeah.
Now, Beck, I'm sorry if these are wrong, but you get that on the big jobs. What is that, about right?
Other side, other side. Jake,
What?
other side.
Is it?
Look at the X.
Oh. You sure? Does that look right?
Yep.
Fucking better be, Aiden. Got this side?
Yep.
Aiden.
You gotta go there.
All right, guys, so we're here at the body shop. Joe doesn't want to be on camera. So the boys here are helping me out with the colour for the VL. So obviously the colour we're going is Velvet Orchid. It's a BMW M3 colour. We're having a lot of trouble finding the paint code for that. BMW don't want to cooperate. That's cool, whatever. Anyway, so the boys have given me this book to look through. All the colours, everything. And I've actually picked this colour here. Doesn't look the greatest on film, but we're going to change it a little bit and we'll run with that. So Vince is mixing me up a little sample of it now. I'll go spray it out, see what it looks like. Maybe we'll make some adjustments, maybe we might not. But just so you know, if you come down the body shop, you can definitely bust the boys' balls, and they will pull this book out and you can go through, pick a colour, but make sure you don't waste their time, spend a little bit of money. Let's go have a look. Fuck, that's actually not bad.
I'm good, Jake, aren't I?
You're the best, Vince. Alright, so we're back at it again. It's freezing cold here, but no option but to keep moving. So what I've just done off camera, little rust repair section in there. Buzz, they always sort of go there a little bit. Anyway, so seal panel. Because what happened at Summernats is Jake got on the piss a little bit and decided to jack his car up off the seal panel. You get that on the big jobs. Also, there's mad rust happening here. Like I said, I chose probably the worst car to start with. But luckily, Rare Spares are making seal panels now. So, that's what you get. Nice little piece. Looks pretty cool. It's in some galvanized metal. The shape looks about right. So, we're going to chuck that in. Now, I've shown you previously on the Valiant how I do seal panels, but this one I'm going to do a little bit different. So, I'm still going to wire wheel the bottom flange, drill the spot welds out of the bottom, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the angle grinder along this top lip. So probably you got the radius here. I'm going to go the radius down about 1 or 2 mil below the radius and run the angle grinder with the cutting disc all the way along. And then, yeah, just cut it off the flange here, make a new flange, and do the same to the front. So, I'm just gonna, so they got a little lip here. I'll probably cut it on the inside of the lip. So not on this side, down the face, cut it, just so I get that, I retain that lip, so we get the nice gap. And yeah, obviously, drill out the spot welds along here. And boom, so just take sort of the outer seal off, and then I'll obviously cut this one down here, spot weld this one on. Because this is actually not bad. In the jams and shit, they're a little bit of a different setup. It's all like one piece, opposed to the XYs and HKTGs and Valiants. So that all seems to be in relatively good nick around there. There's no issues or anything. So we'll do that. Let's get into it. So I'll show you these spot welds. So obviously I'm welding from the inside through the hole that I drilled out into the new panel. And what we get is just this sort of look here where there's no bubble. It's just, you can see a little bit of penetration and it's got a slight indent. So it sort of looks like a factory spot weld. And by the time you lineage that down a little bit, you get a real nice factory look. And then from the inside, got your spot welds. You got a Gus. Gus is on a bit of a fucking bender, I reckon. He took the day off work. Look at this slacker. Anyway, that's all good. But what I'll show you is, so there was a few little bubbles on the other side of the car for the seal panel. And I was like, oh, it'd be cool if I could just patch those panels. But yeah, took an angle grinder to it, and looks like we're going back to rare spares to get another fucking seal panel. So, look at that. Nice little repair someone's done previously. We got some fiberglass, we got some rust, we got some bog, we got some more bog here. So this was all that was wrong with it, but yeah, doing another seal panel now. A few little bubbles there, but yeah, it's all right. Having 2 new seal panels on is nice because you fix all this indents and all that sort of stuff, so that's cool. Also, welded up the aerial hole. We don't need that. Hate the look of those. Welded up the badge holes. We might still put a badge on it, I'm not sure, but I'd rather have the holes welded up and then just either re-drill them or double-sided tape the badge on, opposed to going, fuck, I don't want to run the badge and having 2 holes. So yeah, we'll keep pushing. It's Thursday today, and I'd really like to have the car and primer by Sunday, so we'll see how we go. But I think we're going all right, almost finished all the metal work. Red on. Red on.
Boys, how are we? What the fuck are you doing?
Some rare spares.
Crazy to see out here in this crazy world.
I'll put it on the episode. Right, it's another day here. We got Mr. Superstar, Raphael Capone here. We're just having a deeper meaningful about Amy at the moment, but we're about to start some work. This segment's called The Chronicles of Amy and Raph. A love story made in hell. So we're almost finished with the fab work on the car. So both seal panels done, the boot seal, all that bits and pieces as you've seen. The last thing I'm going to touch on, apart from the bonnet, because the bonnet, I need to first acquire a donor bonnet, and then I'm going to fix up the inside supports because we cut one out for the air filter. So we're going to have to fix that up, but that's going to be later. Anyway, I've just started doing some panel beating on the guards, fixing the lips up and everything. And a common problem on these, as soon as you put the 17-inch fronts on it, they grab here at the bottom of the guard and they fold this in. As you can see, there's already been some like rubbing. Now I've just folded this guard like with a dolly, bent the lip over, but they always grab. I think you can see it on this one. So you see where the wheels hit all through here. So what I'm gonna do, just marked it out roughly, about 15 mil in. I'm gonna make an incision with the grinder. Right, then another one on this flange, and then I'm basically going to move this flange over about 15 mil, right, just to give that a tiny bit more clearance through here, and that might make the difference. You know, it might not work, it might work, but I'm hoping that that's going to give us just a little bit more, and obviously folding the lip all the way around, we should get out of trouble. But you've also got to remember, this is not going to happen to everybody's car. My car is very low, and I was driving it super hard, like, you know, tipping it in, full lock, going over gutters pretty fast. So obviously there's some things that happen, but if you're just puttering around town doing fucking nothing with your car, you probably won't have this issue. But or you can get some of the face machined off the back of the wheel. We might also do that, but I really like the wheels to sit out as far as we can, just to get that fitment right. So I'm real particular on that. So I'm gonna do more modifications to the guards, less to the wheels. And then obviously, if we max out what we can do with the guards, then we'll go to the wheels. So let's get into that. All right, so it's Saturday now. Final thing we're gonna do this week is touch on the bonnet. I wasn't gonna do this yet, but Gary made some pretty valid points to me last night. So I had to think about that, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do it this way. So here's my issue. You see here where I've cut out, and then there's usually a support that runs through here, but then there's these pieces here, right? I don't like the look of this, so what I'm gonna do, I was gonna mirror this side, put it over here, but the problem is with that is it's not sort of the same here, and there's a notch out here, so it's actually, that would be quite a big job. So what we're gonna do instead is just make an incision along here, and then fold up a nice piece to flatten that out. Do the same along here, and then we'll call it a fucking day. Let's do it. All right, so guys, we've just finished one section of the bonnet. I'm gonna call it for today. I've had enough. That's all done. You can sort of see what I've began to do. Got rid of that section, filled it in, put a bit of HQ in there. It is what it is. Give you a quick recap on what we got done. So, holes in the nose cone welded up. The section that's indented here for the boot, I don't even know what you call it, but that's all filled in. Aerial filled in. All the window seal, all repaired. That's all done. Obviously that was tackled last week. Lara Bingles pulled out. Fixed a few warps in the quarter. Fixed the light where that sits. Got a sill panel on this side. The front guards are being trimmed, obviously to give a bit more clearance in this area here. Luke's here doing some work on his car. All the boot seals been repaired. Bit of a rust repair section in here. Another seal panel. But yeah, it's been a big week. All the fab work's pretty much wrapped up now, so thank fuck for that. Next, we'll be getting into next week, all the body work. So the moldings have to come off, the doors have to be stripped, and then basically get all the dents out, start on the filler work. So another big week. I think we're on schedule, but it's still going to be a push. So we've got 5 weeks left now. Let's see if we can get it done. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and I'll see you next week.